It's the Black Hole Sun snare.
I used this on a bunch of Soundgarden albums.
Both of these have been used on Soundgarden records.
Okay.
For sure. This one, if you're listening to Black Hole Sun, that's the snare.
Hey everyone, so today's an exciting day at Drumeo. We're building Matt Cameron's drum kit. And also right here we have the one and only Black Hole Sun snare drum that Matt used on the Soundgarden record, Super Unknown. So make sure you stick around. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that snare drum. And we're also here with Matt's longtime drum tech, Neil, who's gonna be helping build the kit and sharing some tips and tricks and secrets about Matt's setup. So here we go.
So this is Pearl Jam's van that they've had since 1995.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
This is the Pearl Jam van. It's nice to have a drum kit that's a little bit smaller than Mike Portnoy's.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my purple kit.
You actually get to walk around. Look at that right there. The real deal. Probably a piece of drum history right here. So Neil, when did you start teching for Matt and Pearl Jam?
My first tour was in 08. Matt asked me, I think it was like 2009, he asked me if I would want to do Soundgarden with him, and that's when it really got busy.
Nice.
Between the two bands, so.
Yeah, his own signature badge on there.
Signature badge, yeah, this is the Yamaha Maple Hybrid.
Yep.
And we had this kit built in 2018. This is the 24, we have a 22. We've been touring 22, 10, 12, 14, 16.
Okay.
That was on this last tour,
Yeah.
this last year. I've done a lot of different stuff with Matt, from going from Pearl Jam to Soundgarden, even to like, hey, we're gonna do a benefit show with, you know, my son's jazz band at school, you know, things
cool.
like that. And some of that is some of the most complex stuff, you know, and you're going, whoa.
Just subtly pulling
Yeah.
those chops out.
Yeah.
The new FP9 pedals?
Yeah, I love it. I love the new hardware. I told her, I was like, man, keep that coming.
I remember when they came out with the pedals and everyone was just complaining, like, where's the hi-hat? Where's the
Yes,
hi-hat?
I think they're the best hi-hats around.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when you're at the warehouse, because you're full-time with Pearl Jam, like, what are some of the things that you're actually doing week to week?
Taking care of the gear predominantly, and that means everybody's.
So if you're doing, is that even for when any of the guys have solo stuff happening?
Yes.
So if
and that-
Eddie's going to do a gig, are you
Yes.
out? Okay. Sounds like a fun gig.
It is, and they're the best guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's all family, so
Yeah, that makes all the difference.
it does, yeah.
At the bottom of these stands, you've got like the extra support.
Yeah, so that is a bolt system. It goes into the riser. So on tour,
okay.
Matt's all bolted in. Yeah.
So for Tom's, he's got 10, 12, 14, 16.
Yes. You know, Matt's normal setup has always been 24, 12, 13, 16, 18. So now we're running the smaller toms.
Okay. Why did he get rid of the wood hooped kit? Because he was using that for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that became
oak
like
kit.
his signature thing.
He was very known for the oak kit.
Yeah.
The oak kit was replaced by this kit. You know, and now it's just simply like, hey, let's, you know, get something new and something different. Yeah, I think Yamaha discontinued those.
Okay. Everyone's gonna have to go on eBay and
I
find
know.
them. Good luck.
Yeah. We did Letterman. Letterman was like, you know, he always loves those drums.
Oh yeah.
You know.
All those clips of Letterman, I think there's a bunch of compilations of him being like, oh, those are nice drums. Oh, look at those drums.
Yeah.
Nice kit.
Beautiful drums. Are these yours? I love those. I love those. These your drums? They're great. Are those yours or rented? Beautiful drums.
Well, we did Letterman a couple times. We did it with Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, and both times it was Letterman came up to me and
Yeah.
was checking out the kit. I was like, yes.
Get on the kit, Dave.
And then I saw that compilation. I was like,
Yeah.
he says that's about everybody's drum kit,
So
you know.
good. I feel like he's just like shredding at home. He's probably got like a big kit.
Good looking drums. Thank you very much.
So what's he using for cymbals?
All Ks. We've been playing the Zildjian paper thins
Okay.
lately.
For Matt, like I mean, in my opinion, he's quite a dynamic player, and to be able to open those up really easily,
Yes.
you can see that being like,
Yes.
really useful. Does he ever break them?
You know, he doesn't break cymbals
Okay.
much.
Jazz drummer at heart.
He doesn't break very many cymbals.
And nice for you, not having to order new cymbals every other week.
Yeah.
So what do we have with this snare? What's the deal with that one?
So that's a Greg Keplinger.
What's the story behind those?
Both of these have been used on Soundgarden records.
Okay.
For sure. This one, if you're listening to Black Hole Sun, that's the snare.
And then what about this one?
That's another Greg Keplinger. That's an option. That was he was playing on that recently.
Okay.
In rehearsals, both steel, and this is chrome over steel.
Nice.
But these are Greg Keplinger, 90s.
Not fragile.
Yeah. That's a Greg Keplinger stamp there.
Thing looks like an absolute tank.
It's a beast. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
It's the Black Hole Sun snare. So this snare drum was used on the album Super Unknown, one of the most legendary rock albums of all time. And Matt was actually kind enough to sign some copies of Super Unknown, and we're gonna be giving one away to a lucky winner here on the YouTube channel. All you need to do is go to musora.com/YouTube to be entered to win, and you'll actually get to hear this snare drum on that record. So good luck to all of you out there, and let's get back to the video. We've had a few people bring stuff, like Steve Smith when he was here. He brought the Don't Stop Believin' ride cymbal.
Oh, okay.
It had been in storage, what was it, 30 years or 40 years or something? He brought it out for the first time, and the thing was like a manhole cover.
Oh, it's
just like
huge.
24 or something, and just like the thickest bell.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
recording it, we're like, that's the sound.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So in all your years as Matt's tech, like, was there ever a moment or a show where you actually had to come in and like save the day, like something broke or something like catastrophic to do with the kit?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've definitely had some 4-alarm things. He's breaking the stems.
Oh,
Right
really?
here, like right there. That's sheared completely. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It went straight off, and I looked and I thought, and my brain couldn't compute why that had happened.
Yeah.
There was nothing but the rod. And
Jeez.
on this last tour in Australia, the beater sheared off, right mid beater, and it started digging in. And
Into the head.
Yeah, and Matt felt it, and he played left-footed and finished off the song, because he looked back and gave me the look. And if he gives me the look, I'm going, I know the look, and I'm looking around. When he got up, pulled his ears out, and I looked, and I went, oh my gosh, yeah,
Jeez.
nightmare.
That's terrifying. Lots of drummers will have the toms kind of cascading like
Out.
away from them.
Yeah, he's pretty close in, huh?
Yeah, like the second rack to the floor tom is almost like a straight line. And then he's got all emperors all the way around.
Emperor clears of all, and ambassadors on the bottom.
Everything's really close.
Close, and it's gotten, in the time I've been with him, it's gradually come in a little bit, get a little more, ergonomics,
And then how often is he using the double pedal?
you don't hear him like blast beats
Yeah.
and things like, but he'll use it in like a real tasteful way here and there that you're like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
And he'll come in and change it.
Yeah, of course. It's all wrong.
Well, this is my custom Yamaha maple kit with die-cast hoops. I had this kit built in 2018. I've been with Yamaha since, I think it was around 2000 or so. Fantastic company, amazing hardware, amazing shells, great people. One thing that they did do for me is they cut the kick drum down to a 14 by 24. They cut the rack toms to traditional sizes, 8 by 12. And then I have a 14 and 16 inch floor tom. I'm using smaller size rack toms and floor toms. I used to use 12, 13, 16, 18, so it seems to be a little more comfortable for me in my advanced stage. Today I'm using the Keplinger 8-inch snare drum that I used on the, or is it 7? 7 or 8 that I used on the Super Unknown record. Is it 8? It's 7, okay. This is one that Greg made for me. It was probably the early 90s, like 91 or 92. It's stainless steel, and there's a big old weld in the middle of it here, which I've always liked. This is pretty much a Frankenstein type of snare drum. He put just like random, I think these are Rogers lugs on here, Ludwig throw off. So back in that time frame, Greg was essentially just kind of like using what he had to build these amazing snare drums. This one I bought in 1980, right when I joined Soundgarden. I got this in 86 or 87, something like that. After I joined the band, I realized I needed a louder presence in the sound, and so this is This is my very first Kepler. I used this on a bunch of Soundgarden albums. So yeah, so I brought that as well. And this is a stainless 6.5 Yamaha snare drum that I've been loving. I used it all last year. Zildjian cymbals. I've been with Zildjian since the 80s. I love those guys. I love the cymbals. And Vic First sticks. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So Neil, if you had to say, with all your years of drum teching, like if you had to boil down the most important job of a drum tech.
Pay attention, always. Don't take your eyes off your guy. When he's running the race and if you're thinking about something else, or if you don't have your head in the game, then that's when he's going to need you most. So I think that's probably the place to start.